At forward, number 40, Courtney Perry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And we broadcast live to you tonight from Glacier Peak High School on STSPN.com. I'm Mark Aucutt with Luke Windsor. Our executive producer is Todd Elvig. And thanks for joining us as we got a great matchup as two schools from the same district and a lot of rivalry going on here tonight between the Snohomish Panthers, the visiting team, and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies on STSPN.com. We're going to take a break and then have girls basketball coming your way right after this. Stay with us.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
And we welcome you back to Glacier Peak High School, home of the Grizzlies. I'm Mark Aucutt with Luke Windsor, and we are happy to bring you this great matchup, battle of the Snohomish Valley here, right, Luke, as these two teams get after it. Snohomish coming in with a record in 3A Wesco of 2-0 in conference play, 6-0 overall, and for Glacier Peak, they are 3-0 in conference play in Wesco 4A, 4-1 overall. So you got a couple teams that are very evenly matched. They know each other well. They've been playing against each other and with each other for quite some time. So this makes for a great matchup here today.
Yeah, Mark, there really should be no feeling out process at all. I expect both these teams, because of the familiarity with each other, to go right after each other right from the start. And so I really think it's kind of incumbent on both coaching staffs to try to add a new little wrinkle to their offense or defense to try to throw the other team off guard.
So you have the Snohomish Panthers in their red uniforms with the white numbers, letters, and trim, and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, white uniforms with the blue and silver on their color scheme. And so there we go, as we're underway here at Glacier Peak High School. Thanks for being with us on STSPN.com. Down low inside, and we got a foul right off there, Luke. And that is a big player going in there. That's Kayla Watkins. She averages 23 points per game. And
remember, she is committed to Weber State, so she's a definite player. And so right off the bat, get your best player established. Go get her the ball down low on the block and either get her an easy layup or a chance at the free throw line.
Makes the first foul shot. That foul was on Courtney Perry, her first foul, first team foul for Snohomish. Their starters would be Katie Brandvold, who is a 5'9" senior guard. Also, you've got Maya Duchesne, a 5'7" sophomore guard. Sam Beeman, a 5'7" junior guard. Kyra Beckman, a 6'1" sophomore forward. And Courtney Perry, a 6-foot sophomore forward as well. Snohomish with the basketball. The two shots made by Watkins to get us started here this afternoon or this evening, and the basket is good.
Kyra Beckman down low on the little jump hook shot.
Beckman popping it in for Snohomish's first 2 points of the game, and we are tied at 2 apiece here in the early going on STSPN.com. Want to thank our sponsors, Ace Hardware of Lake Stevens. Now look at that putback right there, and I think that's going to go in. It does. Watkins getting it done. So for Glacier Peak, their starters are Paisley Johnson, who is a 5'9 senior guard, Sammy Fatkin, who is a 5'10 senior guard, also Nicole Jensen, a 5'7 junior guard, Kayla Watkins, a 6'1 senior post, and also you've got Abby Josephitis, and she is a 5'7 junior guard. Stolen away, and Glacier Peak has the basketball up by 2, 4-2 here in the early going.
And again, Glacier Peak playing a lot of pressure defense will let you that turnover.
Wow, Watkins gets it, no problem. She's already got 6 points. And Snohomish is going to take a timeout just like that. They're down by a score of 6-2 here in the early going. 6:28 left in the first quarter, and you are viewing on STSPN.com. More Western Conference girls basketball coming your way.
Remember the heat last spring and summer? GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric can add AC to most existing furnaces, and typically with a one-day install. From repairing electric or HVAC problems to installations, GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric is your Snohomish and North King County premier Lennox dealer. Contact GNS now for a free estimate and mention this ad to receive up to $1,700 in cash rebates when you purchase a Lennox air conditioning system. So why wait? 425-341-0759 or visit gsheating.com. Want the best? Call
Welcome
GNS.
back as Snohomish has the basketball trailing 6-2. Luke, so far, Kayla Watkins getting the job done with a 23-point per game average heading to Weber State, and she's got all 6 points for Glacier Peak. This time, Snohomish driving in. That's Maya Duchesne and makes it a 6-4 game. Our broadcast presented by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. Great to have them on board.
Nicole Jensen with the 3 from the top of the key. Again, this time they did a good job, Glacier Peak, of getting the ball inside and kicking out to the open shooter.
That's that inside-out game right there, and it works. A 5-point lead for Glacier Peak, their biggest lead of the game. Other sponsors we'd like to recognize: Action Jackson, Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, American Family Insurance, GS Heating, Cooling, Electric, McDaniels Do-It Center, Monster Beverages, and also Ace Hardware of Lake Stevens.
And
Got a full assortment of excellent sponsors from the area now. Another 3-point basket for Nicole Jensen. They moved the ball well nicely there.
And what they did a good job of first getting Kayla Watkins established down low. Now that inside-out game can really be effective.
Yeah, that's true. Watkins scored the first 6 points of the game, and then you have Jensen hitting 2 3 balls to make it an 8-point lead, biggest lead of the game for either team here in the early going, as that one's deflected out of bounds. It will be Snohomish basketball. In for Snohomish, number 10, Morgan Marshall. Morgan Marshall is a 5'7 junior forward. Panthers try to go inside now. Triple team there. Rough and tough sledding down low as Glacier Peak gets the rebound and brings it the other direction. Then you have that switch, Luke, too. As the ball goes out of bounds, it'll be Snohomish basketball. They flip-flop. Snohomish was 4A for so many years. Glacier Peak 3A. Now Glacier Peak is a 4A school, and Snohomish is 3A. But still, what a great rivalry with these two teams from right across the valley. Oh, an interception. Making it look easy that time was Sammy Fatkin.
And early on, really, the Glacier Peak pressure defense, they're running a 3-quarter court press, is really giving Snohomish a lot of problems.
Soft touch by Kyra Beckman. She has 4 points now in the game. Snohomish needs stuff like that, Luke, to be able to stay in this one.
Well, and they also need to take better care of the ball. They've already had quite a few turnovers early on.
Look at that inside, finding Paisley Johnson, her first 2 points of the game. And it's back up to a 10-point lead for Glacier Peak, nearing the midway point of the first quarter here at Glacier Peak High School on STSPN.com. And a good crowd here tonight, Luke, for a holiday.
And for a holiday break, yeah, you'd expect a lot, especially the student section.
Miss off the right side by Fatkin, but right away there's Jensen to get the rebound. Glacier Peak getting it done in a lot of ways here, and they're just fighting and scrambling for those loose balls, and they still keep on holding on to that basketball. That's Kayla Watkins. Man, she has a presence down low inside.
Yeah, and just as right now, the 5 players that Glacier Peak has out on the floor, they just seem to step faster right now.
Watkins again. Yeah, good defense that time too, as Kyra Beckman doing what she needed to do and not foul her. Snohomish trying to find a way to climb back into this game as they're down by 10 points. Inside they go, and it works. Kyra Beckman gets it done. She averages 14 points a game and has 6 so far in this one, Luke.
And that was Snohomish's best offensive possession so far tonight. They didn't look in a rush. They were calm. They ran their stuff, and they got a good look.
Watkins down low off the right side. Good defense tight on her that time was Beckman. Watkins stepping around, gets it done though. She now has 8 points in the game, 6 from the field, 2 from the foul line, and it's back to a 10-point lead for Glacier Peak.
That's great defense by Beckman. She did everything right. Watkins just a superior player there.
And a number of these players moving on to play at the Division I level. Paisley Johnson is going to BYU, and Samantha Fatkin is going to play for Adia Barnes at Arizona. Adia Barnes, a longtime assistant coach at the University of Washington, and now in her first year coaching the Arizona Wildcats. Oops. Got a push off. Glacier Peak called for the foul. This one's going to go against Sammy Fatkin. Her first team foul. Each team has 1 team foul. In for Snohomish will be Maddie Van Slingdenhorst. Also into the game is number 24, Quinn Ottison.
Say Van Slingdenhorst 5 times fast.
Van Slingdenhorst is a 5'2 senior guard. Ottison is a 5'7 senior guard. What'd you think on the contrast of the age on these two teams, Luke?
Well, Snohomish is definitely the younger squad this year. They're mostly freshmen. They're mostly sophomores and juniors with a couple of freshmen on the roster. While Glacier Peak primarily, they have 6 seniors and a lot of juniors as well.
Inside they go. That's Glacier Peak again. Kayla Watkins with her 4th field goal here in the first quarter, along with those 2 foul shots. She's got 10, half the points for Glacier Peak. Kyra Beckman has 8 of the 10. Maybe more? No, not that time. She gets her own rebound, though. Not going to mess around, puts it right back up. Now she has 10 of the 12 Snohomish points.
And Kyra Beckman really establishing herself as Snohomish's go-to player so far tonight. But really, her challenge is defensively trying to contain Watkins.
Glacier Peak with the basketball in front court, up by 8 points. They seem to be in that 10 to 8 point cushion. Oh, down low, Watkins, no problem there. Good job finding her.
And give Fatkin a lot of credit. She drew the defense, and Watkins had the presence of mind to slip towards the basket for the easy layup.
Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. A 10-point lead for Glacier Peak. That one rims out on the shot by Beckman, and the Grizzlies going the other direction.
And Glacier Peak, that's about the 3rd or 4th time Beckman's had that look.
High dribble. Got a foul. It's been a pretty quick quarter because there hasn't been a lot of fouls.
Yeah.
Just 1 on each side before this one.
Clean game so far. And Beckman, she's had a few open looks from the free throw line, and the Glacier Peak defense are not really challenging those shots. I think on the scouting report on Beckman is, go ahead, let her take that shot, and if she hits it, you tip your cap and move on.
Hodson called for the foul. That's her second team foul. A 10-point lead for Glacier Peak. They had a chance to double up Snohomish right here in the first quarter with 39 seconds left to go on the clock. Watkins, she likes to make the move inside, but it looks like she's going to try to find a way to go outside.
Way too soon.
Yes, she did. With the basketball is Fatkin. About 8 seconds different on the shot clock to the quarter clock. 22 seconds on the quarter clock, 14 on the shot clock. Glacier Peak will still have the basketball and plenty of time here, Luke, to set up for a shot.
Plenty of time to, set up, run a good offensive set, and either get it to, and really, I would get it to Watkins, and hopefully she'll make a better decision with her dribble, and she can either go up strong like she just did.
Yeah, she got the step in right there. Nobody on her to take it in, and Watkins just lighting it up here in the first quarter.
And it's not
She has 14 points.
And again, the pressure defense by Glacier Peak once again giving Snohomish problems to end the
That's
quarter.
the end of the first quarter. And our score, Glacier Peak 24, Snohomish 12. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more. The second quarter coming up as we have Snohomish and Glacier Peak here on STSPN.com. Girls Basketball, Western Conference.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife, Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We're back here live, and thanks for being with us on STSPN.com. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And we thank you for being a part of our broadcast tonight and throughout the entire school year, both at the high school and college level. Many, many games aired on STSPN.com throughout the high school season, and, of course, with the college season going on, too. And we'll be involved with the NWAC tournament. Second year of great coverage, and that's going to be 2 weekends this year. Over 30 games that are going to be broadcast. 32 of them on STSPN. Isn't that great?
That's a lot of basketball.
It really is.
32 games, that's a lot.
Yeah, they moved the tournament from the Tri-Cities to Everett this past year. It went great. And so back again.
And Everett Community College is a very good facility, so that they really couldn't have picked a better spot.
Really very nice. This is an excellent facility, too. I've only been in here a couple of times. This is my first chance to do a play-by-play game in here. It's good size, nice sight lines. And our executive producer, Todd Elvig, just finding a perfect place to park right out front. Snohomish with the basketball. And it's going to be thrown away as we start the second quarter. Snohomish down by 12, 24-12. Snohomish, too, also has some players out tonight that can make a difference. That one's batted around. It's going to go into Snohomish's hands. Unfortunately, Emily Preach not able to play tonight. Both her grandparents died recently, and she's at a memorial today. So that's unfortunately wish her and her family the very best.
Yes.
Look at that, just inside. No problem. Watkins right there. Nice block. Good defense down low. Courtney Perry, yeah.
Courtney Perry. Not many people go in West are going to be able to say they blocked Kayla Watkins' shot down low. But again, what I'd like to see from Snohomish, once they can beat the three-quarter court press, settle down, because the pressure defense from the Glacier Peak has really got their offense hurried up. And it's tough to run good offense when you're constantly in a hurry. So I think for Coach Roberts, he's got a young team. For this time out, he wants to get his team to settle down, get the ball into the front court, and then run the offense. Don't be in such a hurry. They have plenty of time to get back in this game.
Yeah, I want to thank our sponsors, Ace Hardware of Lake Stevens. What a great group of people there at the Ace Hardware store in Lake Stevens. Excellent community sponsors. We really appreciate them being a part of what we're doing. Action Jackson, Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, American Family Insurance. All the protection under one roof. Heating and cooling and electric from GS. Thank you so much to them. And also McDaniel's Do-It Center. Just keep seeing it. And, of course, the broadcast brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center. Presented tonight by them. Watkins gets the pick. It's got to be tough for Snohomish. They're down a couple of players. And just at this point, and Watkins has been such a presence inside. And they've kicked it outside a couple of times and made that work too, Luke.
Yeah, it's just – and they're not helping themselves because they've had several turnovers already this game. And here's a three-point shot.
As she got positioned down low, Snohomish catches a bit of a break there as Beckman hit the deck. 2 fouls prior to this quarter against Snohomish and 1 against Glacier Peak.
And also, when you're down 2 players and you're facing a team that has 3 Division I commits, that's a tough, task to ask of any team.
That foul was called against Abby Josephitis, her first. Second team, each team with 2 now. Snohomish in front court. They need to get something going, and they do. How about that three-pointer? Katie Brandvold. And that is the first three-pointer of the game for the Panthers. 10 of their first 15 points have been scored by Kyra Beckman.
In that possession, they had good ball movement. They went inside out and got a good look from beyond the arc.
Glacier Peak in their white uniforms. Watkins double-teamed, and ball is tapped away. It's going to be still Glacier Peak's possession.
Something that Snohomish has done, an adjustment they made, they've switched. Kyra Beckman started the game out on Watkins. Now they've put Courtney Perry on Watkins, and Perry's she's blocked a shot now, knocked the ball out of bounds. So I think Perry's having a better time defending Watkins, and I would expect that matchup for the rest of the game.
2 shots on the way for Glacier Peak on the foul down low. That's on Courtney Perry. That's her second foul, third team foul, and at the foul line with 2 shots is Paisley Johnson. 2 points so far, averages 16 points per game. Got a hunch she's going to get up around that as this one moves along. In for Snohomish will be Sam Beeman, and Beeman is going to replace Quinn Otson. Back up to a 10-point lead for Glacier Peak. Their biggest lead has been 12 points. Now 11.
And of course, as I compliment Perry on her defense, she commits her second foul, so now she has to be cautious for at least the rest of the half.
The Snohomish working it around the perimeter again, coming into this game 2-0 in conference play and 6-0 overall. Missed shot. Perry, she'd like to have that one back, Luke.
Yeah, she was wide open and just didn't have the right touch on it.
Down low inside, Watkins, and a foul. She's a tough force inside.
Well, that time both Beckman and Perry went to double team her, and it just didn't matter. Watkins was still able to get the shot off and get fouled and get to the line.
Kyra Beckman called for the foul, her fourth team foul against Snohomish. Watkins at the foul line makes the first foul shot. She is 3 for 3 from the line and has 15 points, make it 4 for 4 and 16 points.
Imagine that, a post player that can hit their free throws.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to see.
13-point lead for Glacier Peak with 5:30 to go. And a beautiful 3-ball off the left side by Maya Duchesne. She has 5 points in the game, and for Snohomish, they have hit 2 3-balls in this one.
And they caught Glacier Peak in his zone defense there, and Duchesne was just by herself, and why not? Put it up.
Glacier Peak works it over on the far side. Nice battle inside, but Glacier Peak ends up with it. They just seem to be getting all the things going their direction there. Josephitis, 3-point basket.
And again, they just seem a step quicker than Snohomish tonight, and that's leading them getting a lot of the loose balls.
Josephitis with her first points of the game, and for Glacier Peak, they have hit 3 3-pointers. The first 2 belonged to Nicole Jensen in the first quarter. That's a beautiful shot off the left side. Maya Duchesne, her second 3-pointer in the quarter and in the game, and she has a total of 6 points in this one. Leading scorer Kyra Beckman for Snohomish with 10 points, all in the first quarter.
Now Snohomish, they're coming into a 2-3 zone, trying to maybe negate some of Watkins' effectiveness inside, but now it leaves them susceptible to these 3-point shots.
Snohomish trying to get those bounces to go their way. And this would be important right here too, Luke, if they can cut this deficit to single digits. And tight defense by Glacier Peak. Watkins down there amongst the Glacier Peak 2 players. The other one, Paisley Johnson, but it'll stay with the Snohomish Panthers.
Yeah,
4:04 left here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you're right, Mark. If Snohomish can close the half strong, get this lead down to single digits, preferably about, bare minimum, you're thinking 6 or 7, maybe 5 points, they can really feel good about themselves going into halftime.
Panthers in their red uniforms coming out of backcourt right now. Down by the 10, 31-21. Biggest lead for Glacier Peak has been 13 points. Snohomish has not led in this game. Shot on the way, comes off the rim, no good. Getting the rebound is Courtney Perry. Perry back out top. Duchesne's had the hot hand and continues. So now she's got 10 points and a timeout, 30-second timeout, called by Glacier Peak. We'll take a timeout as well. Snohomish has that lead down to 8 points from when it was at 13 points. Again, we'll be back with more here on STSPN.com. 31-23, Glacier Peak.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back. We are at a 31-23 score. Glacier Peak leading Snohomish in girls basketball on STSPN.com. I'm Mark Aucutt with Luke Windsor. Also here tonight, Todd Elvig. Thanks for being involved and watching STSPN.com. And also make sure if you like what you're seeing to let the athletic director of your school know how much you appreciate our coverage of sports throughout the year. Looks like we had a jump ball, Luke.
And the possession arrow, I believe, will go to
Possession arrow,
go to Glacier Peak. And that was a good timeout taken a little bit ago by Glacier Peak coach Brian Hill. Snohomish starting to get some momentum, and so he called the timeout, try to stop the momentum, and also maybe tell one of his players to, that Maya Duchesne player, guard her because she's getting hot.
Yeah, she's got the hot hand right now. Total of 8 points in the quarter, 10 in the game. So they had to take and readjust the shot clock. It'll be Glacier Peak keeping the basketball with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Goes to Watkins. Watkins right down low and a push off.
And that was pretty obvious, and she did it right in front of the referee. And she's a good enough player. She doesn't really need to do that, especially against a young Snohomish team who are trying to guard her with two sophomores.
Watkins with her first foul, team's third foul. Snohomish has 4 team fouls. And right here now, Luke, is an opportunity for Snohomish to cut this down some more. They could cut what was a 13-point deficit down to 5 points with a 3-ball right here. Watch for Duchesne. She's had the hot hand. Beckman's going to try from outside. Maybe out of range a little bit there, and the rebound is pulled by Glacier Peak.
And I would like to see Beckman, maybe she had Watkins on her, try to drive, get to the foul, and either get a layup or try to drive a foul, and Watkins try to get her in foul trouble.
Johnson takes it in, and is back to a double-figure lead for Glacier Peak at 10 points, 33-23. Ball goes out of bounds, but there is going to be a foul.
I believe this will be the second on Watkins.
Yeah, it is on Watkins.
And
2 on her, 4 team fouls. They're even at 4 fouls apiece. Brandvold at the foul line with 2 shots.
That was a good, strong drive by Brandvold. She went for the scoop shot, and Watkins went to block it and just got more of the wrist or hand instead of the ball.
Wow, missed them both. You cannot do that if you want to stay in a ball game. Lots of game left, but still you got to make those and to count that basket on the other end.
And that's a potentially big momentum swinger right here in late in the second quarter. Snohomish gets a foul on Watkins. They get 2 shots at the free throw line, miss them both. And what does Glacier Peak do? They drive it right down the floor, get a layup and a foul.
Well, you look at how this swings around here. Snohomish could have cut it down to a 6 or 5 point deficit. Now it's back up to 12 and make it 13. So they've matched their biggest lead of the game.
So yeah, just little things like the missed free throws and fouling on a layup and letting them get the shot off can be huge in a game.
Kind of a sloppy foul in front court called against Glacier Peak, and that foul is going to go against Josephitis. Second foul, 5th team foul. Team fouls even at 5. Watkins is going to take a breather. Georgia Seo is coming in.
We had to mention how clean a game it was. Now all of a sudden it's a lot of fouls getting called.
Sayed is a 5'9" junior post player. Down low inside, Kyra Beckman is who they were aiming for. Off her fingertips, and that is going to be Glacier Peak basketball.
Too much of a fastball on that pass. Just take a little off it. But I like the idea that with Watkins out of the game, attack down low and try to get some points.
Glacier Peak with the ball in front court, up by 13 points, equaling their biggest lead of the game. Riaz Kanji blows his whistle. We have this one going against Glacier Peak.
Fouls on number 11.
That's on Nicole Jensen, her first.
Team 6.
Team foul number 6. It'll be Snohomish basketball. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter, Luke. And what do you think Snohomish will try to do here and down the stretch to close the gap?
Well, with Watkins out of the game right now, what they're doing right now, go down low.
Beckman passing out to Morgan Marshall. Snohomish misses. Beckman tries again and comes up empty. Glacier Peak will have the basketball. Josephitis into front court. Traveling called. That's on the travelings. You get the big wind up there. You know it's coming.
Yeah. And another thing that I like to see so much too, with Glacier Peak at 16 fouls, the next foul will put so much on the line automatically. So attack the basket, try to draw some fouls and get Glacier Peak in foul trouble.
Hodson back into the game for the Panthers. In the waning part of the second quarter, down by 13 points. Good ball movement right there, and it worked. Courtney Perry with her first 2 points of the game. Beckman's been quiet in this quarter. She had 10 in the first quarter and a foul down low. 2 shots on the way for Glacier Peak with 1:07 left in the second quarter.
Great job by Paisley Johnson beating the defense down the floor and getting herself a look for a layup. And even though the shot didn't go in, she did draw a foul.
Courtney Perry called for her third foul. 6 team fouls, so she's got half of them at the foul line. Is Paisley Johnson makes that first one. Paisley's doing very well in this game. It's 4 for 4 from the foul line. And they're going to make a change and pull Perry out of there. Morgan Marshall will come in.
And that third foul on Perry is big because she, even though Watkins isn't in the game right now, she was playing the best defense of anyone that Snohomish had thrown at Watkins. And so now that really puts Snohomish in a bind, especially once Watkins gets back in the game.
Back to a 13-point lead for Snohomish. Paisley Johnson 5 for 5 from the line. She's got 11 points. And 9 of those points in this quarter. Stolen away. That goes out, but we got a foul too. That's coming up against Snohomish on the coverage down on the other end with 50 seconds left in the second quarter. At halftime, we'll take a look at how this first half went and recap how the scoring went down. Duchesne with the foul. First foul. Sammy Fatkin at the foul line makes the first one. They are just perfect at the line, too.
And again, second possession in a row. Glacier Peak guard beats Snohomish's defense down the floor, is able to draw a foul and get to the line.
Glacier Peak is 11 for 11 from the line after that last one. It's up to a 15-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the game for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. School opened up last decade and has seen good run in both boys and girls basketball, as well as football, cross country, track and field. Inside, ooh, tough break right there. And Glacier Peak will bring it out. Pretty close for actually the quarter clock is what determines what's going on. The shot clock is actually got a second more on it, so that actually shouldn't be even running at all, but Glacier Peak with the basketball.
Glacier Peak, and I think that's what they're doing now. They're just holding for the last shot.
One shot coming up. Up by 15. They've led throughout. That looks good from here, and it is. Wow, right at the buzzer. Michaela Guerra with the shot. Makes it an 18-point lead at halftime as we go into the break. Glacier Peak leading Snohomish 43-25. here on STSPN.com. Our broadcast presented by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. Stay tuned. We've got more Western Conference basketball coming up. We'll take a look at how the first half went and then also look at the scoring, too, coming up at halftime right here on STSPN.com. We're back live here at Glacier Peak High School, home of the Grizzlies, on STSPN.com. Luke Windsor, along with myself, Mark Aucutt, and Todd Elvig here. Nettie Aucutt here sitting in and watching the game as well, our Director of Transportation Services. And I want to thank all of our sponsors. Our broadcast is presented by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. Thank you to them. Also, other sponsors involved: Ace Hardware of Lake Stevens, Action Jackson Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, American Family Insurance, GS Heating, Cooling, Electric, and McDaniel Do-It Center, as well as Monster Beverage. I'll tell you, Luke, old Todd's lining up some great sponsors there. It's nice to see the people in the community and throughout the area getting involved and realizing the importance of these broadcasts.
Yeah, the sponsors, the viewership that we've had for football and now basketball, it's a great thing for the community, and also it's a great thing for, say, a parent is out of town and wants to be able to watch their kid play, and they get a couple hours on a computer. They're able to see their son or daughter play football or basketball, or Todd does wrestling as well, and a lot of other events. So it's just a great thing overall for the parents of these kids and the community at large.
Looking at halftime, it's 43-25, Glacier Peak with an 18-point lead over Snohomish. And taking a peek at the numbers for, first of all, the visitors, the Snohomish Panthers. They were led in scoring by 10 points each from Maya Duchesne. She had 8 of those points in the second quarter. And Kyra Beckman also with 10 points, all 10 of her points in the first quarter. Courtney Perry with 2 points and Katie Brandvold with 3 points. On the other side, you've got 16 points for Kayla Watkins. She just had 2 in that second quarter. She made her presence known very early on as they went to that inside game. She had 14 points in the first quarter. She's a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. Also, Paisley Johnson with 11 points. You've got Sammy Fatkin with 4 points. Nicole Jensen with 6 points. 3 each for Michaela Guerra and also Abby Josephitis with 3 points. They each have hit a 3-ball. So Snohomish down by 18 points. They're missing some players tonight for various reasons, some illnesses, and also death in the family for one of the players. Emily Preach is actually 2 as her grandparents passing away, and so she's at a memorial tonight. So they're not quite up to full speed, but Glacier Peak has also just done a fabulous job of getting it done. As Snohomish will go from our left to right in their red uniforms. Glacier Peak wrestling for the ball. Watkins end up with it. The Weber State commit will now pass over on the left side to Paisley Johnson, the BYU commit. They go inside and get it done.
Nice patience there by Johnson. She was down the floor ahead of some of her teammates. She waited for them to get down the floor, found one open, streaking her to the basket for the wide open layup.
20-point lead for Glacier Peak here in the third quarter, their biggest lead of the game. That's a bit long. Nice save down low.
And again, Snohomish, they just look unsettled on offense, just in too much of a hurry.
Yeah, they are hurried out there, trying to climb back into it really quickly, and you got to be patient on those shots. Glacier Peak goes the other direction, and there they go with another basket. Sammy Fatkin. She's going to play at the University of Arizona in the Pac-12. A 22-point lead for Glacier Peak. Inside, Maya Duchesne. She looked excellent last year, Luke, in her freshman year, and Nate Duchesne, a former star player for the Snohomish Panthers. So we got an offensive foul. Do not count that basket. Nate Duchesne also had coached at Stanwood and is involved at Everett Community College and
basketball definitely runs in the family. And Duchesne, she had the hot hand in the second quarter, and I expect to see the ball in her hands quite a bit for the rest of this game as long as Snohomish is still in it. And I think the important thing for Snohomish, I think what Coach Roberts probably told them at halftime, you're not going to be able to get back into this game all at once. Just try to cut the lead in half by the end of the quarter, and we'll take it to the fourth.
Sammy Fatkin called for the foul, and inside goes Snohomish. That's Kyra Beckman. Picks up her first points since the first quarter. Count that basket, and 1.
And more important, it's the third foul on Kayla Watkins. So getting her into foul trouble early in this second half could prove pivotal for Snohomish.
Yeah, that could be a determining factor if she adds another one there, as the Snohomish could find their way climbing back into this one. The foul shot is good by Beckman. Snohomish is 1 for 3 from the foul line. Glacier Peak a perfect 11 for 11 from the charity stripe.
That's really the other Glacier Peak's defense, and also the foul line free throw disparity is the difference of this game.
Watkins gets it down low, misses the shot. She's got to play a little bit careful now. Great hustle by Paisley Johnson, battling for that basketball. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson, but still, you always got to recognize that good hustle out there on the floor. No foul committed. It'll be Panthers ball, and then they're down by 17. They've trailed by as much as 22, so they've at least trimmed 5 off that. Ooh, tough break there.
Good anticipation there by Johnson.
Grizzlies have been moving the ball around just like in this instance. Watkins wants it, steps in, misses the shot, keeps fighting, gets it back. Yeah, misses a couple of times on that sequence. And Snohomish will have the basketball.
Initially, I think Watkins wanted to pass, but no one was open, so then she had to take it herself.
Okay, she gets in there and gets position. Good with the hands, too. Got it, and it's nice when you have a big player that has soft hands. Jump ball. That's going back to the Grizzlies. 5:21 left in the third quarter. In for Glacier Peak will be Michaela Guerra.
And out comes Watkins, and I think good move by Coach Hill, recognizing that his best post player has 3 fouls. Get her out of the game now, save her for later.
Glacier Peak up by 17. Their biggest lead has been 22. Snohomish has not led in this game. We were tied at 2 apiece, and that was the last time it was really close as Glacier Peak just pulled away. They got up to a 12-4 lead. It's knocked out of bounds. Grizzlies basketball.
Good block by Beckman coming over and helping out.
Grizzlies will inbound on the right baseline. That was nice and easy.
Nice inbound play by the Grizzlies. They get Guerra free up for a layup, and it went in.
Back to a 19-point lead for Glacier Peak as they stay in command of this one. Snohomish trying to go to Beckman. Good coverage on her, but we got a travel call. And that's that strong defense there, Luke. It forced her to put the ball on the floor and actually took the step on the way.
Again, another instance where Snohomish is in too much of a hurry. I like the idea of going down low with Watkins out of the game, but you still have to be patient and play with poise.
Glacier Peak thinking about that there with the long shot, but instead Guerra holds on to it and go to Johnson underneath there. That's going to be out of bounds, and Snohomish got a hand on it before it hit the undersetting of the basket. Into the game for Snohomish will be Sam Beeman, who started the game. Sam Beeman is a 5'7" junior guard. Snohomish with 4 seniors on the roster, 2 freshmen. Usually they're pretty good at finding a freshman or 2 to work in there.
Although we haven't seen either of the freshmen yet tonight.
Yeah, Kinsley Gallatin is one of them, and also Kaylin Beckman. We might see them as this one goes along. Last year, Maya Duchesne got a lot of action.
You wonder if one of the freshmen is one of the players out, due to.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, that's right. Kaylin Beckman will not be in tonight. Glacier Peak basketball. Up by 19 points, and they're just taking some time off the clock.
Got down low to Guerra that time. He was able to draw the foul, and even with Watkins out of the game, Glacier Peak is still attacking down low and trying to get the ball in the paint for easy layups.
Fouls on Sam Beeman. That is her first team foul, and Guerra at the foul line. Pumps it up to a 20-point lead again. Hodson's back in the game for the Panthers. Yeah, the other player for Snohomish that it will not be out there because of just being under the weather is Lexi Sunigel. And, yeah, the freshman kind of having to deal with some toughness there with the illnesses.
Yeah, lane violation by Glacier Peak.
So 50-30 is the score. Snohomish going down low inside. Kyra Beckman couldn't finish it up. Glacier Peak and just pretty much just controlling the situation here right now, and that one's going to drop in to count it. No basket.
No basket. Blocking foul on Snohomish. And again, Glacier Peak, I really like their offensive strategy tonight. Attack inside, and then if the opportunity presents itself, kick it outside for the perimeter shot.
Beeman called for her second foul, second team foul. Both teams even at 2 fouls apiece. Nice looking 3-ball right there by Guerra.
Set up by Paisley Johnson, again driving the lane, drawing the defense and kicking it out for the open shot.
That's her second 3-pointer of the game.
So a little miscommunication there by Snohomish. Two plays on the same page.
Up to a 23-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the game for Glacier Peak here in this one. And they're just taking plenty of time off that 30-second clock and working for the right shot. They're sticking with what they came out in the game with, just the same type of pattern of moving the ball around, looking for a good shot. And Snohomish is going to pick it off this time. That's Duchesne.
Out of control pass there, but yeah, the good ball movement, and you have also players moving away from the ball, which is getting them open.
Duchesne fires up a 3-ball, and it is good. So that's going to be her third 3-pointer. She has 15 points in the game and leads Snohomish in scoring. Nice follow. And Glacier Peak just continues to get it done. That's Paisley Johnson, her fourth field goal of the game. She has 13 points, 5 of those from the foul line, where she's a perfect 5 for 5. Traveling call. This is just a rough night for Snohomish, and in is number 22, Delaney Kaisner. Delaney, go ahead.
Tough break for Beckman. Goes up for the rebound, loses her balance, falls to the ground, and it's just an automatic travel. Tough to falter for that one.
Delaney Kaisner is a 5'8" sophomore guard. Give her some chance to get some minutes out there. Knocked out of bounds. Snohomish will get it back. Just under 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter.
And with a 22-point lead, looks like Glacier Peak starting to get some of their deeper bench players into the game as well, get them some valuable experience.
Haley Grambo comes in. She's a 5'8" sophomore guard. So again, here's a great opportunity for Glacier Peak to work some players in, some of the younger players, and that's probably going to be what we're going to see down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Also into the game is Sydney Guffey. She is a 5'8" sophomore guard.
Fouls on number 5, Sam Fatkin, her third team.
Fouls on Fatkin, her third team foul. At the foul line, Katie Branford, she has 3 points in the game and is 0 for 2 from the line.
And the good thing about what I've seen in this quarter from Snohomish is, despite the fact that Glacier Peak is pulling away, they're still competing, they're still playing hard, and Coach Roberts, he's a good coach. He's taken teams to the state finals before, so he knows what he's doing, and he's not going to play players who aren't going to play hard for him no matter what the score.
Into the game for Snohomish, number 40.
Branford hits the first foul shot. Snohomish now 2 for 4 from the foul line, 2 for 2 in the second half. Now this is just where these players down now at 20 points, just doing whatever they can to stay in it, keep playing hard. If you're Snohomish, obviously it's worked out well for Glacier Peak. Watkins misses one inside and is going to draw the foul on the second attempt.
Yeah, don't expect to see Kayla Watkins miss too many from point-blank range wide open very often, but she's able to get the rebound and draw the foul. And she drew the fourth on Perry as well.
Perry called for her fourth foul, 3 team fouls on each club. Watkins with the free throw made, and she's 5 for 5 from the line. And 6 for 6, 18 points in the game, averages 23. She hasn't had to do too much here in the second half, and they were able to have her on the bench for a while, too.
They extended the lead with her on the bench, which is really
yeah, they
impressive.
did very well. She had picked up the 3 fouls, so had to keep an eye on that.
And the only free throw that Glacier Peak has attempted that didn't count was because of a lane violation. So, very impressive.
That was on Haley Grambo, her first. 4th team foul. 22-point lead for Glacier Peak here in the third quarter. Panthers, again, Luke, just it's tough to get inside, and Glacier Peak not letting up at all. Great ball movement. Sammy Fatkin finishes it off, and she's got 8 points.
Great job by Glacier Peak.
24-point lead.
Turning defense into offense. They really just got great length out in the perimeter. They're getting the hands into passing lanes, challenging even the dribbles of the Snohomish players, just really making life tough.
Missed shot as we're looking at 45 seconds to go in the third quarter, a 24-point lead for Glacier Peak, and usually you'd think these two would play a little bit closer. Glacier Peak is tough, both ranked in the top 10, and that job gets it done right there is Fatkin.
Well, again, I think the two missing players, you really do have to wonder how much that's affected Snohomish, because if they're two players who are regular rotation players, Coach Roberts is having probably go deeper in his bench than he normally would like to.
And there's the basket. Katie Brandvold gets it done. Under 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. Let's take a look at what these teams have coming up, schedule-wise, too, coming up. And that's the end of the third quarter. It is Glacier Peak 61 as they score 18 in that quarter, and Snohomish 38, and they scored 13 in the third quarter. Fourth quarter coming up. And again, our broadcast presented by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Welcome back, and we go to the fourth quarter. Mark Aucutt, Luke Windsor on STSPN.com. It's a one-sided game, no doubt about that, as Glacier Peak has held this one almost from the onset, leading 61-38, and a travel call against Snohomish. Snohomish missing a couple of players, and it's been a tough night for the Panthers out there.
Yeah, you have to wonder again the effect of the missing players, and also sometimes it's just not your night.
Yeah, and that's true. That can happen. I want to mention that Snohomish has coming up on December 27th. That'll be their next game a week from tonight as Watkins goes again, gets it in there. She's up to 20 now. The Snohomish will play at White River in a 1:30 game coming up, and that's actually the Cloud9 Christmas Classic at Linden Christian High School, which takes place on December 27th, and then they'll also play Gig Harbor. That's Kyra Beckman coming through. She's got 15 points. So, Luke, they've got 3 games involved in that one, and then they also involved in that is going to be they'll play Linden Christian at home, and that's a 7 o'clock game on the 30th. So the 27th, 28th, and 30th, they've got games coming. Travel against Glacier Peak.
Watkins that time, and good defense there by Beckman to force that. But on the previous possession, again with Watkins, she missed the layup, but then she got the rebound. Once she establishes position, it's really hard to get her out.
Also, Snohomish has Everett to open the new year on January 4th. That's at Everett. Then they're at Meadowdale on January 6th. both of those 7:15 starting times.
Held ball, Glacier Peak basketball.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just a rough night for the Panthers. And you can see just by the bounces and how things have gone that it just has not gone their way from early on here tonight.
Yeah, they have had a couple bright spots. Beckman offensively, and also Duchesne from the perimeter. But too much of that. Kayla Watkins down low.
Watkins now up to 22 points, as you can count that one. And she has a chance to hit her season average of 23 points per game. That's on Maya Duchesne, her second foul, fourth team foul.
12, Kayla Watkins going to the line to shoot the bonus.
Watkins heading to the foul line. Each team with 4 team fouls here in the second half. Glacier Peak
a miss.
will not play until January 4th, and they host Mount Vernon. They're in a stretch of having 3 home games in a row, starting with tonight. And then they've got Mount Vernon coming up on January 4th, and they host Kamiak on Friday, January 6th right here. So it's a nice stretch for them not to have to be hitting the road, some family time, which makes it nice. And Snohomish will have good family time up until the 27th, and they'll be ready to play again with those 3 games coming up before the end of the year.
Yeah, there will be some practices during this break, but yeah, just be able to rest your legs a little bit and not have to get on a bus.
Yeah.
It will be nice for Glacier Peak.
25-point lead for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. It stays at that, as the foul that time was against Watkins, her 4th. I don't think they were worried if she fouls out or not. They'll leave her out there. 6:07 left in the quarter, and she's going to get some extended playing time as Kyra Beckman hits that foul shot.
Yeah, when you have now a 24-point lead, you don't worry about your star player fouling out.
Beautiful 3-ball. That is the second 3-ball by Abby Josephitis.
I remember a certain number 33 hitting a lot of 3-point shots back in the day.
Yeah, he just had his 60th birthday, Larry Bird.
How did he?
Can you believe that? It was like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I cannot believe that.
I believe this is going to be an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, yeah.
A charge.
Fouls on number 33.
That's on Abby Josephitis, her 6th team foul.
Into the game for
When Michael Jordan turned 50, that made me feel old. Now, how do you think I feel with Larry Bird turning 60?
Larry Bird turning 60. But boy, when it came down to the stretch or throughout the game, nobody could shoot like him.
Well, there's a story of the 3-point contest he was in where he walks in the locker room, sees the other guys in the contest, and he just says, "Which one of y'all is shooting for second?" And, of course, Larry Bird won it.
Yeah, he was amazing in the 80s with that. Stolen away by Glacier Peak.
Glacier Peak now a little too much of a hurry offensively.
Duchesne picks it off, goes coast to coast, takes it in, makes the basket.
Smart decision by Duchesne on the 2-on-1. The defender never challenged her, was worried too much about the pass, so Duchesne just took it herself for the layup.
And Glacier Peak is loaded with talent right here. You're going to see them go deep into the tournament, and we wish the best for Snohomish as well when they get back to full strength. And both these programs, the girls start playing at an early age and climb up the ladder, and it shows once they get to the high school level.
Oh, I'd expect Snohomish too when they get to full strength. Come February and March, they'll be right in it as well.
Duchesne with another 3-pointer. She's got 20 points. We got a full timeout called. Again, our broadcast is brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. And we're going to take a break as well. It's 68-46. Glacier Peak up by 22 points here on STSPN.com.
You know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Remember the heat last spring and summer? GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric can add AC to most existing furnaces, and typically with a one-day install. From repairing electric or HVAC problems to installations, GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric is your Snohomish and North King County premier Lennox dealer. Contact GNS now for a free estimate and mention this ad to receive up to $1,700 in cash rebates when you purchase a Lennox air conditioning system. So why wait? 425-341-0759 or visit gsheating.com. Want the best? Call GNS.
I want to thank all of our sponsors, GS Heating, Cooling, Electric. And a great ad you just saw from them, McDaniel's Do It Center, American Family Insurance, Action Jackson, Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, Ace Hardware Lake Stevens, Monster Beverage, and, of course, our presenting sponsor tonight, Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. Mark Aucutt, Luke Windsor here, and Snohomish having a tough night against the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. The Grizzlies up by 22 points, and they have the basketball as we're hitting about the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Watkins, certainly a top candidate for player of the game. She is going to kick out a pass now and then go back inside. Traveling called.
Just couldn't keep that pivot foot nailed down to the floor. But again, I like Watkins' game in that when she senses double team, she's a willing passer, but she also knows when it's time to take it herself and be selfish and go for the shot.
Definitely got some great skills out there as Snohomish goes inside. There they work it. That is Courtney Perry.
And Perry taking advantage of the fact that Watkins with 4 fouls can't really afford to be very aggressive on the defensive end.
And credit to Snohomish. They were down by 27 points, 68-41. They've scored 7 straight points and just staying with it. And that's something that we remark about and loving about the high school game is how they play right to the end very hard. 3 in the key, called against Glacier Peak.
Yeah, a team that comes with the tradition that Snohomish has, making several deep runs in the state tournament. Even if they're having an off night, they're going to play hard for the full 32 minutes.
Glacier Peak averages scoring 71 points per game, so they're just under that. They'll probably surpass that by the time we're done. And they average giving up 52.4 points per game.
Fouls on number 3, Paisley Johnson, her first.
Fouls on Paisley Johnson, her first 17th foul. 2 shots for Kyra Beckman, who's 2 for 2 from the line and has 16 points in the game. Shot is good.
And Beckman's been one of the few bright spots for Snohomish tonight. And she's just a sophomore, so she's going to be a force for the Wesco 3A for the next 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. And also, you would assume with Snohomish, the fact that the state tournament is an expectation for them at the state level as well.
Good job by Beckman at the foul line. And Snohomish has got it under 20 right now, and a good 9-0 run. I know it's late, but still, they're not easing off the pedal at all, and there's still been a good quality amount of type of players out there for Glacier Peak as well. Good block.
And a little while ago, Coach Brian Hill for Glacier Peak, he called timeout, and even though his team had the big lead, I think he was seeing maybe a little lackadaisical effort by his team, so good timeout by him.
That's Cassidy McGee hitting a three-pointer. Cassidy McGee is a 5'8" senior guard, 68-53. A 15-point lead for Glacier Peak, which at one point was 27. Snohomish here in the late going has found a way to whittle off 12 straight. That might go in, though. No. Kyra Beckman gets the board and outlet pass. Make it look a little more respectable by the time this one is wrapped up.
So the pollsters from Eastern Washington won't dock them too much.
Yeah, that's true. Glacier Peak going the other direction. Paisley Johnson's got a chance at a three-point play.
You got to love it when a guard's willing to go inside and rebound. Shows what a complete player Paisley Johnson is, and I believe she's a BYU commit. Yeah, they'll be happy to have her.
Fouls on Cassidy McGee, her first 15 foul. One for Paisley Johnson, and here's an opportunity as Kayla Watkins is going to come back in. Watkins is going to replace Georgia Sayed. Well, right now for Glacier Peak to get up to their season average, of 71. Snohomish averages 50 points a game, so not a real high-scoring team, at least in the early going, and they average giving up 34.6. Their defense has been a big factor, and she makes the foul shot.
Well, it's just a contrast of styles. Glacier Peak early on in the game came out with that the three-quarter court press. They like to play more of an up-tempo style.
Let's take a timeout also. It's STSPN.com. We'll be back with more. And we're back live. It is 71-53. Glacier Peak is leading Snohomish. 1:43 left to go in the fourth quarter. Wide open three, going to rim out. Glacier Peak in the first quarter had a 24-12 lead at the end of the first. At halftime, they led 43-25. At the end of the third quarter, they led 61-38. So you get the point. They've been leading throughout this entire game. Their biggest lead has been 27 points at 68-41, but then Snohomish scored 12 straight, Luke, and made it a little more respectable, but Glacier Peak getting some things going. They're going to put wholesale substitution, a full line change coming in for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies now as they'll bring in 5 players. Some of them have been out there before.
Still, it's the basketball equivalent of the human victory cigar.
Mackenzie Willems is one of them. And that full timeout called by Snohomish. We'll take another timeout here on STSPN.com. Glacier Peak leading 71-53.
You know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson
Remember
Auto
Steve
family.
Scheffler?
That means 84 years
He
of
was
serving
George
you,
Carl's
the
human
LJ
victory
way.
cigar.
Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half-ton,
What's that?
one-ton, two-wheel drive,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
four-wheel
that's-
drive. Our finance specialists are here to help you.
Did we give it to her before?
Good credit or bad credit.
She hasn't had. Oh yeah, that's good. So will he go down and get her then, or just would just announce it, or how do you?
Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Why don't you go ahead and do that? You want to do that, or? Welcome back here to Glacier Peak High School. Minute 10 left, fourth quarter, in a game that has been dominated by Glacier Peak throughout the entire evening. They're about to put the close on this one. Snohomish missing some players due to some illness and a couple deaths in the family for one of the players, and so it's certainly changed things around dynamic-wise. Less than a minute to go here. Mark Aucutt, Luke Windsor.
Ball out of bounds, Snohomish basketball.
Snohomish ball.
And a chance for it looks like Coach Roberts, he's still keeping some of his starters in the game. And for him, he's just coaching his team. He's not worried about the score right now. He's just trying to get them to play hard and finish the game.
Inside they go. That is Courtney Perry. She's got 6 points in the game. And this might be the final possession here for Glacier Peak. Up by 16 points, going to come away with the victory, which would take them to 5-1. This is a non-conference game as Snohomish is 3A and Glacier Peak is 4A.
That was on number 30.
That foul is on Kelsey Thomas, her first 8th team foul. Kelsey Thomas, just to make sure we get all these names in here, is a 5'11 senior guard and post player. She swings in that position. Down low, Maya Duchesne just a little soft on that one. They get it back, keep working up top. With the basketball, Courtney Perry over on the right side. To see some of these players that weren't out there earlier get some playing time and points as Glacier Peak's going to come up with a victory. No problem there on the final score. 71-55. 71-55 the final score. Snohomish coming up and outscoring Glacier Peak in that final quarter 17-10, but Glacier Peak had command of things from the early onset of this game. After a 2-2 tie, they just pulled away, built it up to 12-4, and they were off to the races after that, Luke. And we're going to take a look at getting the interview of the player of the game on here, too. Yeah, and that's going to be Kayla Watkins. So you want to go get her? Or
yeah, I'll go get her.
Let's do that. So, again, let me take a look at some scoring in this game while Nate does that. Maya Duchesne, big night for her, the sophomore for Snohomish, 20 points, 7 for Katie Brandvold, 18 for Kyra Beckman. Courtney Perry had 6, Cassidy McGee had 3. Over on the other side, Glacier Peak led by the 22 points of our player of the game, Kayla Watkins. 16 for Paisley Johnson, 10. Sammy Fatkin. Nicole Jensen with 6 points. Michaela Guerra with 9. She had a couple of nice 3-pointers. Also, Abby Josephitis with 8 points, and she buried 2 quality 3 balls. So they had a number of 3-pointers in this game from those shooters. Nicole Jensen with a couple of 3 balls. Guerra with 2. And Josephitis with 2. So 6 3-pointers for Glacier Peak. And then on the other side, Katie Ramvold had 2 3-pointers. Maya Duchesne had 3. Also 1 for Cassidy McGee. So you add those up, and they also had 6 3-pointers. So we saw some of that outside shooting, but also some mid-range shooting too. And going inside earlier with Kayla Watkins and the job that she was doing down there. So we're going to bring Kayla upstairs here and get her the T-shirt, as our player of the game is sponsored by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware store. At least we think that she's heading in this direction. Oh, here she is. We got her coming our way right now. So Kayla Watkins, we'll put her on the headsets and welcome her here to the broadcast. So we're going to have her down below, nice and easy, coming through. So we have Kayla Watkins. Kayla, great job down low inside to get things started. You are Lake Stevens Ace Hardware player of the game. You averaged 23 points a game. You finished with 22 is what we have unofficially, but a big first quarter.
Yeah.
You got it done.
Thank you.
And what was nice, I mean, for Glacier Peak, and you guys established a presence down low inside to start things off. Tell us, was that the game plan you had?
Every game plan is just coming out strong and, just go after the boards and just, kind of just play hard. Yeah,
go out and play hard, and that's exactly what you guys did. You established that inside game, then you started going out more outside. Nicole Jensen, once you had scored some points, hit a couple of big 3 balls, and that really allowed you to pull away.
She stepped up tonight, yeah. Very proud of her.
What's it like when you play up against Snohomish?
It's a team rivalry, so it's always fun to play against them.
Yeah, Luke?
Now, you've never lost to Snohomish, so is there that a little extra added pressure of wanting to keep the streak going? Or?
Yeah, I mean, just to keep the streak going, like it always feels good. Just hopefully next year our team can keep that streak going.
Yeah, and so you got the win non-conference play tonight, and your team now is 5-1 at 3-0 in conference play. As Snohomish with their first loss of the season, they had some players out for a variety of reasons, but at the same time, you guys really got out there and just got it done. And you're going to go deep into the season. I know you'd like to be playing there on championship night in that state tournament down at the Tacoma Dome too.
Of course, yeah.
So, what do you think about heading off to school? You like the school that you picked there?
Weber State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. Yeah.
Excited?
I'm very excited.
What is it? You know what kind of record they had this year?
I think they've lost a couple games so far, but they're doing really good. They're breaking records right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I think they'll really enjoy having you on that team.
I'm excited.
You and also, Paisley Johnson are heading down to the state of Utah to play basketball, right?
Yep.
She's going to BYU.
Yeah.
So that's how did it come to be where you got recruited by Weber State and decided to go there?
What stood out about them is that I just really like them and like their coaching staff, and I could just see myself being very successful there. And there to help me reach my goals.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. And, Kayla, you get a T-shirt as our player of the game. It's right around here. We'll get that to you. I think, actually, Mom's the keeper of the T-shirt. So congratulations. You get the STSPN player of the game, STSPN.com. Player of the game. Way to go. And that's sponsored by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. So way to go. Kayla Watkins is our player of the game. There it is right there. Congratulations. And we wish you the best, and I know we'll see you again as the season moves along here for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Good job. Again, Luke, that pretty much wraps us up here as we are up. A great view of this game here tonight as Glacier Peak comes away with a 71-55 victory up on the top row. And so thank you very much, as always.
Thanks for having me. And good game, and I think we saw two teams that both in the 3A and 4A ranks should make some noise come tournament time.
Absolutely. Again, I'm Mark Aucutt, our executive producer, Todd Elvig. That's Luke Windsor. And once again, the final score, Glacier Peak 71, Snohomish 55. Remember, winning is for today, but sportsmanship is for a lifetime. And again, keep it tuned and check the different broadcasts out on STSPN.com. And thanks to all of our great sponsors, Ace Hardware Lake Stevens, Action Jackson Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, American Family Insurance, GS Heating, Cooling, Electric, McDaniel Do-It Center, Monster Beverage, and our presenting sponsor tonight, Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll talk to you after the break.